April 1986, 46-year-old Jack Nicklaus won his final Masters using an oversized, odd-looking putter he had initially called a joke. That single victory forced manufacturer MacGregor to completely overhaul its factories to keep up with hundreds of thousands of back-ordered putters. This is the true story behind the MacGregor Response ZT. By early 1986, Jack Nicklaus was considered by most sports journalists to be well past his competitive prime. He had not won a major championship since the 1980 PGA Championship 6 years earlier. Media write-ups leading into Augusta National suggested the legend was simply showing up to play ceremonial golf. Yet on Sunday afternoon, Nicklaus delivered a final round 65, including an explosive 30 on the back nine, to capture his sixth green jacket. While his charge remains one of the most famous moments in televised golf history, the instrument in his hands was radically unconventional. It was a putter so large, lightweight, and rectangular that golf traditionalists had mocked it just weeks earlier. To understand how an experimental putter ended up in the hands of golf's greatest major champion, you have to look at the state of MacGregor golf in the mid-1980s. MacGregor was one of the oldest and most respected equipment brands in America, but putters were never their primary focus. In 1985, MacGregor sold just 1,200 putters across their entire worldwide distribution network. Their lineup focused almost entirely on forged irons and classic persimmon wood drivers. In 1985, MacGregor's chief club designer, Clay Long, set out to solve a fundamental physics problem on the greens: off-center hits. When a golfer strikes a putt away from the exact center of the club face, the putter head twists. This twisting absorbs energy, causing the ball to roll short of its target and push off its intended line. Long's goal was to maximize what engineers call moment of inertia, or MOI. High MOI resists twisting on off-center impacts. To achieve a high MOI with the manufacturing technology of 1985, Long made a simple mathematical calculation. He had to significantly increase the physical dimensions of the club head. By using lightweight aircraft-grade aluminum instead of heavy steel or brass, Long created a putter head that was significantly larger than standard blade putters without adding excessive overall weight. He added dense brass weighting to the far heel and toe extremes to push twist resistance even further. The result was the MacGregor Response ZT615, a putter head nearly double the width of a traditional blade. In July 1985, Clay Long traveled to Columbus, Ohio to present his new prototype to Jack Nicklaus, who was not only MacGregor's primary endorsement star, but also a major shareholder in the company. Nicklaus had built his record 17 major victories using classic, compact blade putters, most notably a George Low Wizard 600. Long's giant aluminum creation looked completely alien compared to the refined lines Nicklaus had looked down at for 30 years. However, Nicklaus was an analytical strategist. He took the prototype out to his practice green. What he immediately noticed was the consistency of the ball's roll. Because the lightweight aluminum face was so wide and forgiving, off-center strikes rolled almost identically to center strikes. Nicklaus annexed Long to make a few specific adjustments. He wanted the reflective silver aluminum head painted matte black to reduce glare under the sun, and he wanted subtle white sightlines added to the top flange to aid alignment. Long produced 4 updated prototypes in late 1985, fully expecting them to remain niche research tools rather than tour-ready production clubs. At the January 1986 PGA Merchandise Show, MacGregor presented the newly branded Response ZT to retail buyers. Given that the company had sold only 1,200 putters the previous year, internal sales managers set a modest target of selling 6,000 units for the entire 1986 calendar year. They gave away 200 promotional samples at the trade show and managed to secure 5,000 advance retail orders. In March 1986, Nicklaus decided to put the Black Response ZT into play at the Honda Classic. The early results were disastrous. Because the aluminum head was physically large yet extremely light, wind gusts on the greens affected Nicklaus's stroke. During one round, a sudden gust moved the oversized club head mid-backswing, causing Nicklaus to miss a 6-inch putt. He missed the cut and was tempted to abandon the design entirely. Instead of discarding the club, Nicklaus made an on-the-fly modification. He took heavy strips of lead adhesive tape and applied them directly across the sole of the putter head. This added physical weight to anchor the head against wind while retaining the massive perimeter forgiveness Clay Long had engineered. He arrived at Augusta National in April with the lead-weighted, oversized black aluminum putter in his bag. On Sunday, April 13, 1986, Nicklaus began the final round 4 shots off the lead. His back nine was one of the most explosive putting displays in major championship history. He eagled the 15th, birdied the 16th, and stepped up to a critical 18-foot birdie putt on the 17th green. The lead-weighted Response ZT had dropped another long putt, sealing a final round 65 and Nicklaus's 18th major championship. This habit of elite players modifying their equipment or using custom non-standard gear behind the scenes to gain an edge is a recurring theme in golf history. If you want to check out another fascinating example, you can click the banner on your screen or the link in the description to watch our video on how Lee Trevino used a custom set of hand-ground Australian irons and covered their back logos in thick lead tape during back-to-back Open Championships to keep his primary sponsor from finding out. Nicklaus's lead tape modification on the Response ZT followed that exact same legacy of tour players adjusting gear to survive under pressure. The morning after Nicklaus raised his putter on national television, MacGregor Golf experienced a commercial surge that the golf industry had never seen before. At 8:00 a.m. on Monday, April 14th, phone lines at MacGregor's headquarters in Albany, Georgia, jammed completely. By noon, retail buyers and distributors had placed orders for over 5,000 units in 4 hours, nearly matching MacGregor's entire projected sales target for the year. The company was utterly unprepared for the demand. Their 250,000 square foot facility in Albany was primarily geared for forging irons and casting wooden woods. MacGregor immediately reallocated floor space, quadrupled its aluminum tooling machinery, and shifted plant staff into 24-hour manufacturing shifts. By the end of 1986, MacGregor had shipped over 300,000 Response ZT putters. Back orders stretched for months. Golfers across North America and Europe waited up to half a year to buy an $89 aluminum mallet that had been viewed as an ugly prototype 9 months earlier. The success of the Response ZT fundamentally shifted putter manufacturing. Prior to 1986, oversized mallets were considered novelties for high handicappers. Nicklaus's victory proved to the golf industry that high-MOI alignment tools had tangible benefits at the highest level of professional competition, paving the way for the modern spider-style and high-MOI mallet putter designs that dominate professional tours today. While MacGregor sold hundreds of thousands of replicas, the fate of the actual putter Jack Nicklaus used on Sunday at Augusta took an unusual path. Of all 18 major championships Nicklaus won throughout his career, he retained every single winning club in his personal museum, except for the 1986 Response ZT. For over 2 decades, the most famous putter of the 1980s was missing from Nicklaus's collection. Years later, the story came to light. Shortly after his 1986 victory, Nicklaus hosted a group of professional tennis players, including Ivan Lendl and Billy Scanlon, at his home for grass court tennis sessions. While playing golf in the afternoons, Scanlon was struggling on the greens. Nicklaus handed him the 1986 Masters putter and told him to try it out. Scanlon took the club home and placed it in a display case in his recreation room. Nicklaus had forgotten where he lent it until years later when Ivan Lendl mentioned seeing it at Scanlon's house. The putter eventually made its way into private collector hands, remaining one of the few game-used major championship clubs outside the Nicklaus family archive. The MacGregor Response ZT began as an engineer's radical solution to a physical problem, was questioned by the greatest player in the world, adjusted with simple lead tape, and ultimately reshaped the golf equipment industry in a single afternoon.